Business Now is brought to you by the Information Technology Association of America, business development, networking, and public policy leadership for today's IT industry, and Unisys, legacy systems modernization, border security, RFID. Whatever the challenge, Unisys unleashes the power of technology to help federal clients serve citizens and achieve missions with confidence. Learn more at unisys.com/federal. Unisys. Imagine it done. And in part by Sprint, together with Nextel. Stay connected, stay informed. And in cooperation with the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, PBS, and Maryland Public Television.
Phil Bond, President and CEO of the Information Technology Association of America, met with Homeland Security Committee Chairman Bennie Thompson to discuss the chairman's vision for the use of information technology to enable the DHS to better protect our homeland and increase the efficiencies of the department's large enterprise.
As chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, you have oversight of the Homeland Security Department, a huge responsibility for this country after 9/11. What are some of the ways that you see technology aiding in that vital mission?
Well, I think as we discuss immigration here in Congress, border security comes to mind, how our borders are to be kept safe. Clearly, technology will be a key player in that. To the extent that we know who's coming into the United States and who's leaving the United States, technology has significant situations for that. To the extent that people who are here, who are doing things that might not be in the interests of this country, we should have the ability to identify who they are and to some degree intercept them. So technology is important.
You made a number of references to how important it is to know that people are who they say they are. And the Homeland Security Department has a number of initiatives and programs targeted just at that. Those programs, of course, use all kinds of technology. Can you talk just a little bit, sir, about how important it is to use technology there and what kinds of technologies are deployed?
We can't just depend on a passport any longer. We know that passports from a biographical standpoint is one method, but really it's biometric. And we either have to do a fingerprint or iris scan, so that we've seen that is the only real way to go. We're trying to get that with U.S. Visit program. We're trying to get it in some of our other programs, but that's technology.
Can we use all of these technologies, including biometric technologies, and still protect the privacy of Americans?
Rather than just moving forward and not having the safeguards just for the sake of moving forward is not the way to go. When we roll out a program, we need to have all the safeguards in place.
You've referenced a number of programs and, of course, billions of dollars spent over the last 6 years. I think our viewers would be interested in your view as committee chairman. Are we better off now than we were on 9/11?
We absolutely are. Now, are we as safe as we need to be? It's a work in progress. We've been blessed not to have another incident like 9/11 happen, but we can't sit back on our laurels without the help of the tech community to fix it.
Much of the debate over border security, of course, has focused on building of a fence. Not as many people have heard about the building of a virtual fence that would cover both those maritime borders and the land borders. Can you talk just a little bit about the progress that has been made to date on a virtual fence?
Well, as you know, we have SBI Net, which is on the street. Boeing is the primary contractor, and actually we were scheduled to be online with Project 28 in Arizona now as the first step of that virtual fence. Before we roll it out, let's make sure it's correct. Let's make sure to the extent possible that if there are any bugs in the system, we worked them out. So we look forward to it. Now that virtual fence along the southern border is scheduled to be about 1,800 miles. And that's the layered approach that we'll still have aerial surveillance in certain areas. To some degree, we'll have additional Border Patrol agents as well as other assets. So the virtual fence is just one step. And just like any new idea, we're already hearing from people who live in the area that, you know, that virtual fence might be a little more of an invasion of individuals' privacy, but I think if the protocols are in place, we will not violate the privacy of those people who live within that area covered by the virtual fence.
The virtual fence, of course, would use many technologies, make that information usable to the border guards and others. That touches on a really big issue, interoperability of the different technologies. How are we coming in terms of real progress on making all these technologies interoperable for first responders?
Big challenge, big challenge. You know, the public rightfully assumes that first responders and everyone who's coming to help coming and talking to each other in the process. You and I and many people listening to this program know that that's not the case. And so we're having a real challenge in this country, bringing the capacity for those individuals who are offering help to be able to communicate in real time. Some of it's spectrum allocation, some of it's equipment and technology, but we have to interface it so it works. We now have on the drawing board technologies that would allow those things to happen, but we have to come up with a plan. But you know, in the end, when the bad guys come, they're not asking, are you a city government or county government? Are you a liberal or conservative, a Democrat or Republican? Basically, if you're an American, they just want to hurt you. So I think it's in our best interest that we work those communication gaps out so that that system is seamless. So I shudder to think the real dollar value of what it will cost, but I do know what it will cost if we don't do it. And I think because the risks are so great, Congress is committed to putting the financial investment there.
In addition to oversight of the Homeland Security Department, of course, one role of the committee that you chair is to oversee the efforts of state and localities. And we have seen stories that they still have money that is unspent, money in the pipeline. Can you comment on that?
We're the new kid on the block. To some degree, I'm encouraged that people are just not spending money just because they have it there, but we require plans before expenditures are made. Those expenditures have to be made towards some goal. You should not buy equipment just for the sake of buying it, but it has to fit in that overall plan. And some communities are ahead of others. I'm really excited about the capital region here because they have one of the better systems in place. Our evaluation in terms of interoperability, in terms of training, in terms of understanding how the public needs to be informed, all those things are in place in the capital region. Before 9/11, we did not have it. And we're investing in those units of government to get better. Because again, all of the research says that we have to target our monies where the greatest risks happen to be. And there's no argument that New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles are ideal targets.
As chairman of the Homeland Security Committee here in the House, of course, many companies want to show you the technology. The department wants to show you the technology they're deploying, which puts you in a phenomenal position to see some of the most cutting-edge technology available in the world. Does it leave you optimistic about securing America?
Well, Yes, but I'm not so much an optimist that something bad won't happen. You know, part of the department's mission is to prevent it, but the other part is, if in fact when it happens, how do we respond? So if we prevent it, we've succeeded. But if somehow we miss that opportunity, how did we respond? So we put those plans in place. We put federal, state, and locals in fusion centers all over this country, so they now talk to each other. We actually share information because of technology with all those different entities, whereas we used to stovepipe it, as it's commonly referred. So I'm optimistic, to be honest with you. I look forward to working with the department, but we can't do it without technology. Without technology in the forefront of Homeland Security, we will not succeed.